2025 is right around the corner, and you may already be thinking about, well, this is a great time for me to set new goals. Well, today we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and how to keep them. Hi, I'm Anna Scheller with Capri Temporary Housing. And New Year's resolutions are sometimes very difficult, aren't they? We set goals, we have a vision of what we want to be. Maybe we want to lose some weight. Maybe we want to get fit. Whatever the goal is. Maybe I want to be better. I want to earn that raise. I want to travel more. We get started. We're gung-ho at the beginning of the year. And then by January 15th, things have changed. Life got in the way and we figure nothing's going to change. Well, today we're going to talk about some ways that you can make sure that you follow through on those New Year's resolutions for a great 2025. The first tip I have for you is to have a goal. There are people who say you need a big, hairy, audacious goal. Go for it. I recommend it. Then you have to step back and go, well, what does it take for me to get to that goal? Let's say your goal is to lose 50 pounds this year. That's a pretty common goal for a lot of people. I want to lose weight. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. So you look at the year and you go, well, there are 52 weeks in a year. My first milepost may be, I'm going to lose a pound a week. That sounds reasonable and doable. So make your smaller steps to the goal reasonable and doable, but also something that may stretch you. Maybe you want to say, well, there are 12 months in a year. You want to go a little bigger. That's a little over 4 pounds a month. Maybe that's what you want to do, but make it so that you break it down into smaller bite-sized chunks, if you will. Just a little aside here, don't compare your goal, your progress to anybody else's. Make it something that you're going to get satisfaction out of completing in yourself. Choose to compete against yourself, not anybody else. Make that goal something that you can take pride in accomplishing. It doesn't have to be the same goal as anybody else's. It's something that's valuable and personal to you. And I'll tell you, as you get those little steps and you stick with those little steps, you're going to grow in your confidence to reach your goal. The second thing is you want to track your progress. Now, why is that important? It's important to track your progress because what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. If you're not tracking your goal, then you're not going to go anywhere. The goal will slide. You'll get distracted. Something will keep you off track. And speaking of progress, you want to break down your goal into actionable steps. And that actually goes back to our first tip. You see, if I have a goal of losing a pound a week, there have to be behaviors that I'm willing to engage in that I can track to help me achieve the goal. So for example, if you want to lose a pound a week, but you don't have a behavior that you're tracking, you're pretty much leaving it up to chance whether you're going to get to that goal or not. And it really doesn't help you accomplish the goal. But if you say, for the first month, I'm going to write down everything I eat, at least 4 days a week. That's going to give you some feedback as to where you can cut down, what you're eating that maybe you don't have to eat. Also, when you're tracking things like that, it helps you become more aware of your behaviors and you actually start self-modifying. You may want to track your progress to the goal itself, like weight loss, but track regularly the actions you're going to take to get to that goal and make those actions doable. If you're not running a mile, and you think you're going to run a mile, don't. Tell yourself that you're going to go for a walk. There's a lot of literature out there that can help you break those kinds of goals down into actionable steps. You know, as you're tracking your progress, things can seem incremental and motivation may wear off, but in your discipline to continue tracking your progress, what you will find is that when you look back months later from where you started to where you arrived right then and now, it's going to be very motivating, and that following through with the discipline of tracking is going to help you carry through to the end of the year to accomplish your goal and get very close to it, if not exceed it. My final tip is there are 2 tents, yes, T-E-N-T-S, for you to consider as you're going after those New Year's resolutions for 2025. The 2 tents are to be persistent and consistent. Why are those important? Well, first of all, persistence is important because invariably things are going to come up that are going to thwart you. Maybe you get sick. Maybe you have a bad day. Maybe you were up all night with a crying child and therefore you didn't get to the meal prep like you had planned. Those things are going to happen. But when you fall off the bandwagon, you will. Just know you will. Then get back on. Be persistent. Keep going after it. Let's say your goal is to lose 50 pounds, but at the end of the year you lose only 40. Have you still accomplished something amazing? Absolutely. Every bit of traction toward that goal through persistence is going to help you build confidence to reach that goal. Now, I also mentioned being consistent. Being consistent means that you're going to do everything you can to do the same thing, to move yourself toward that goal every day. There's a story. His name's Ryan Hawk, and he has the podcast, The Learning Leader. And he wrote a book with a friend called The Score That Matters. When he was in high school, he was the quarterback for his team at Centerville High, and their coach focused on consistent actions every day toward excellence. He laid them out, and the team focused on consistency. They measured themselves by how they were doing against their own standard. When they had a big game at the end of the year, and it was against a big rival, he was interviewed by the local newspaper. In his interview, he was quoted as saying that they were just going to continue to do what they'd been doing all year. They didn't talk about their competition. They didn't talk about beating the other people. And you know what? They won 35-14. And the other team was actually intimidated because they were not measuring themselves against the other team. They were measuring themselves against themselves. And their goal was to be consistent in the little things. So be consistent in the little things. That will help you to persist when things get hard, which will help you as you track your progress, which will help you attain that goal. Thank you for watching and listening to this broadcast. Thank you for liking and sharing it with your friends. If you find this content to be valuable, please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell so that you're notified whenever we have great content like this coming up. Ciao and Happy New Year!